Hey everybody, welcome back here to my channel and to another episode of my Nemesis creation. I'm just going to give you a quick look here at the station, which I did in the last episode. Here's the final product. It's going to show you some around of those areas and also show you some pictures of the real ride, some of the reference photos that I got to build the station. So first of all, here's a nice aerial view. As you can see, the station in the middle there is quite square, so that's kind of what I went off with the station for this, trying to get that as close as I could to the original. And here is the kind of front of the station with the eyeball there. As you can see, it's just there on the front there. The station did actually get a repaint in the last few years, and it is slightly different. I've gone for the old paint version. I felt like the new version of this would be quite difficult to do in the game. It's got quite a lot more texture and more kind of sandy colors. So I've just kind of gone with the old paint style, as I said, but it works out really cool. There's a view at the back of the station there with the kind of the tail coming off there of the alien creature. So that's what I did in the last episode. Today let's get into the next part of the build, which is going to be doing the vertical loop area. Before I get into that, don't forget to give me a thumbs up and subscribe while you're at it. It really helps my channel out and I really do appreciate it. I just said I was going to be doing the vertical loop area, but actually before I get onto that bit, I am doing the extended queue line. This hasn't actually been used in years. Now it's not till recent due to coronavirus that the extended queue line for Nemesis has been used. Obviously with social distancing, they need more of a space to kind of get the people to spread out. And so they have opened up this extended queue line, which goes right up around the back of Nemesis, and you actually get a kind of a look of the first kind of pre-drop and the turnaround before it comes down the hill into the first corkscrew. So I've just kind of added that in there, used some pictures to kind of, you know, get that to look somewhat correct. It appears that the fencing for this is also wooden, so I've gone and found these great wooden, they're actually bamboo, but I've coloured them slightly different. These wooden fences, which are from the Annie Gates mod set, which I think look great. Some really great fences in there, and they are actually on the diagonal as well, which is fantastic for doing diagonal pathing. As you can see there, I've done a bit of diagonal going up the hill and around the back, and then I'm just using these single pieces to do the slopes, and that looks really great. Later on, when I'm actually kind of tidying up the land and the terrain and everything, I will touch up this area with more foliage and kind of do the rest of the stuff around it. There is like a staff access road as well that goes around the side, so I'll be doing that as well. But that's basically the extended queue path there. There is one more extended queue line as well over on the other side, which I believe is just completely overgrown in that. So here is actually the picture of the vertical loop area with the 0G roll. As you can see, it's got quite a lot of foliage there, and the supports in that go into the rock, and there's a lot of rock work with the red water at the bottom. So I'm going to be getting into that whole area right now. But first up, I'm doing the bridge that kind of cuts over by the vertical loop. This is the part of the queue line. There is actually like a general footpath as well. I believe it could be a part of the fast pass queue. But that actually does use that bridge as well. But actually, because of the game's limits, haven't been able to add that kind of path in, so that part is actually missing from the recreation, although you wouldn't really notice it. But if you had an eye for Nemesis and you really knew it inside out and back to front, you would realize that that path is actually missing there. From it kind of goes from the entrance area and around the side like this and over the bridge, and then connects to the bottom of the lift hill, and it's like a general footpath. But like I said, I haven't included that just because I couldn't. This happened as well in my Oblivion recreation. There was something that I needed to put in. It was like the locker or something, or the test seat area for the ride, and I just couldn't squeeze it in. The game physically, if I was trying to get it in proportion into scale and everything, I just physically couldn't get that little building in, so I had to miss that out. But it doesn't, you know, affect the recreation that much. So I'm okay with leaving that little path out in the Nemesis bit. So now I need to do the kind of rock work and the foliage and everything at the side. I'm going to be doing like the vertical loop and this kind of stool turn, as they call it. Just chucking in some rough rock work right there. Here's a picture of the stool turn, which I'm trying to create. As you can see, there's some water coming down there. There is some weird like theming stuff in the middle, which it's just like a bunch of rubbish. So I need to figure out how to do that. And also the supports as well. I feel like they're very unique supports by going into the rock work and everything. So I'm going to try and create that as well. I'm just chucking in some rocks here, and I like to do them all in one color first, and then I go back in with the paintbrush and add different kind of shades and textures in there to make it look a little bit more less one color. So that always looks much better. And as you saw there as well, I'm using like the disc from the shapes, which I think works out really well for kind of doing level terrain work. There we go. Which definitely helps with kind of creating that kind of step up kind of terrain look. Not really possible to do with the square tiles that you get in game. So using the shapes, a cylinder or the disc really works out really well. And then you can kind of hide those discs as well with some foliage and some bushes and stuff, so you can't actually see that they are just, you know, these shaped pieces. So that works out really well. So I'm adding the foliage in now along all those side bits. I do slightly change that rock bit in the middle just to kind of match the support work a little bit better, but for now that's the general idea. And then I need to go in and add in that kind of red waterfall as well, which will connect down to that red water at the bottom. I found colouring the water red in game, it doesn't come up very vibrant, but if you make the terrain colour black underneath, then it makes the colour pop more. So I gone ahead and did that, which worked out really well. Now I just need to add some rock work and stuff in around the bottom to make it look less watery, because there's not that much water down there. It's actually just kind of like a rock bed and it has like a stream going through it, so I need to kind of do that. Just adding in some big grey rocks around the bottom. And then I actually did the supports with a vertical loop off camera. I didn't know that I did that. I kind of was looking for the footage and I couldn't find it, so I apologise for that. But I do the supports for the stall turn, and you'll see me do that, and it's basically the same principle. So using the water curtain, obviously now it has these new slope pieces with water, which was available in the latest DLC download. So they work out perfect for the waterfall. And then to kind of join up those edges, because they have like a dead straight edge, I'm using the splash piece, which kind of hides that really well. Unfortunately, the splash piece isn't colorable, so I can't make it red, but it kind of works out for like that kind of, to give it some animation and a look of flowing water, so that works out really well. And then now, of course, I just got to go in and do some of the supports. I've done some already, like I said, off camera. I'm using the shapes. They have like these new cubes and there's some on the diagonal. They work out great for like a track connector. And then also, if I make those slightly bigger, they work out really good for a footer as well. And you could technically make all the supports using the new shape pieces, but that would just take forever. And so I've decided to use, well, I didn't decide, I was going to do it anyway. Use the supports mod, because I love the supports mod. It's so efficient and easy to use, and they make great supports. And it has so many different angles of beams that you can put in to make your supports. So I really love that set, so I use that all the time, and I will be using that with this as well to create the supports. And looking at photographs, I'm going to copy those supports as much as I can to get them as close to the original. Obviously, one or two of them are slightly different. The 0G of my layout is slightly too far over, but I can't help that, that's just how it is. But it should actually go over the top of the station, and I've had to just kind of miss that out, just to kind of get the rest of the recreation looking realistic. And also I wouldn't have been able to fit the loop in or anything if I did that as well, like I get, because of the game, like I said, sorry, because of the game's limits. But yeah, so that's looking really cool now. I'm just going to go in and like add some more rocks and foliage, that kind of thing. And then I need to find like some pieces to use to put that kind of theming in the middle. It's like a frame and a curtain, and there's like a spiky twisty thing that's up on that hill. I'll pop a picture on screen now and quickly show you what I mean. But yeah, it's a bit weird, so I'm going to figure out that in a second. Just finishing up those supports around the top of the stall turn there, and there's a bit of the path there at the back as well, which will be the kind of second part of the extended queue line. We'll finish that another time. But yeah, here's this kind of weird theming bit, and I'm just kind of chuck some pieces in there together to kind of make it look like what it should. But thanks for watching, guys. I'm just going to chuck in some screenshots now of what I've done so you can see nice and clear. But thank you for watching, I really do appreciate it. Give me a thumbs up and don't forget to subscribe, and I'll see you all next time for another episode here of my Nemesis recreation. Ciao.